HBO's The Regime ends on an unexpected note, while the death of one key character underscores the main theme of the series. Don't Yet Rejoice picks up shortly after the events of The Regime Episode 5, where Chancellor Elena Vernum, Kate Winslet, and advisor-bodyguard-lover Herbert Zubak, Matthias Schoenaerts, had to flee the palace. They find themselves alone and hunted by the resistance, and after taking shelter with a seemingly kind local, they are betrayed and turned over to the newly formed National Freedom Front. The NFF is headed by Laskin, Danny Webb, the former head of the security service. He has joined forces with the resistance, but they still need Elena to secure a peaceful transition. Vernum reluctantly agrees to help her enemies but is later rescued by American mercenaries, who offer a deal. In exchange for restoring Elena to power, America will be offered favorable trade terms. Sadly for Zubak, they also need a scapegoat to blame Vernum's disastrous year on and is soon executed. The regime ends with Elena celebrating her 9th victory day, and giving a speech to an adoring crowd. Why Elena sacrifices Herbert in the regime's ending. The Chancellor truly loved her butcher. Elena walking with flowers to Zubak's grave in The Regime Episode 6. The regime's cast has been the highlight of HBO's satire since they brought humanity to characters that could feel a little broad. The odd romance between Vernum and Zubak gave it some heart, but Don't Yet Rejoice sees the Chancellor's many mistakes forcing her into a corner. Despite tanking the economy of the regime's unnamed country and causing a civil war, she still has a lot of supporters. To save herself, Elena is told that Zubak must be sacrificed. Herbert is to be the scapegoat for the Chancellor's terrible decisions, with his death meant to signal the country is back under control. The regime has offered brief glimpses into the person beneath Elena's monstrous exterior, and offering up Herbert as a sacrifice is a decision that breaks her heart. The couple spends one last night together before Zubak wakes up to see a pistol pointed at his head, and a gunshot runs out. It's unclear if the troubled soldier realized Elena was giving him up, though his dream in Episode 5 suggests he always knew she would betray him eventually. Given his own awful deeds, it's hard to have too much sympathy for Zubak, though the show reveals the choice will continue to haunt the Chancellor. What Herbert replacing Elena's father in the glass box really means. Elena will never be free of her ghosts. The first episode revealed Elena kept her father Joseph's body displayed inside a glass coffin at the palace. This is despite the fact he had been dead for over a year, and his body was slowly decaying. The Regime Episode 3 saw Elena having nightmares about Joseph, who berates her leadership abilities and intelligence. This implies the Chancellor and Joseph had a very unhealthy relationship while he was alive, but she was seemingly freed of him when the resistance smashed the coffin while storming the palace.